Hello and welcome to another video. Happy New Year 2026. Today we're taking a look at Capstan Gold. To say the name Capstan amongst pipe smokers, it invokes one of those hallowed blends that form the cornerstone of our collective history. Obviously, with 100+ years behind it, there's a lot of story to tell. Originally produced by the WD&HO Wills Company well over a century ago, the mantle was picked up by Orlick and STG, and then recently McBaron, until now it is no longer in production. This tin arrived to me by a generous member of the YTPC. It already came with over 5 years of age under its belt already, with a production stamp noting 2020 as its birth date, November 2020. And as of the date of this unboxing, opening up of this tin, it is January 2026. Bright Virginia tobaccos from 3 continents have been sliced into this flake tobacco. The Virginia tobacco is expressed in a block and cut into flakes. And we're going to be smoking this out of my trusty Savinelli Bing's favorite. I think this has been my go-to Virginia pipe, my dedicated Virginia pipe, and it's seen quite a lot of tobacco in this past year. All right, so I hope you guys are ready. I invite you to sit back, relax, light up a pipe, get into the zone, and let's enjoy some tobacco. There's so many virtues of the leaf. All things to all men. Tobacco to the young man, it teaches patience with and gives wisdom for the trials that beset the beginning of life. Tobacco gives advice as to his actions and inspires him with a steadfast purpose. For the middle-aged man, it sustains, soothes, and comforts. To the old man who has drunk to the very dregs the cup of life, tobacco brings calm and consolation. In its fragrant cloud, he forgets his griefs and troubles and recalls his pleasures and triumphs. Tobacco is all things to all men, to the young, youthful, to the mature, ripe and mellow, to the old in comfort, yet ever new, to the joyful, joyous, to the saddened, sympathetic, to the defeated and baffled, hope emerges from its very wreaths. To one and all of its myriad lovers of all ages, nations, and tongues, tobacco is thought in the early morning, solace in time of woes, peace in the hush of twilight. Some of the virtues of the leaf. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're enjoying this video, my friends. Now it's time to light up this pipe. I consider my pipe a very dear and well-beloved friend of my prosperous and evil days. So to the friend who in the early stages of our acquaintanceship did oftentimes disagree with me, has since become to be my very warmest comrade. To the friend who, however often I may put him out, never now upsets me in revenge. To the friend who treated with marked coldness by all the female members of my household, and regarded with suspicion by my very dog, nevertheless seems day by day to be more drawn by me, and in return to more and more impregnate me with the odor of his friendship. To the friend who never tells my faults, never wants to borrow money, and never talks about himself. To the companion of my idle hours, the soother of my sorrows, the confidant of my joys and hopes, my oldest and strongest pipe. This little volume is gratefully and affectionately dedicated by Jerome K. Jerome, 1886. All right, folks, so going back to this Capstan Gold, I must say that I am enjoying it. When I opened the tin, it smelled like straw to me, mixed between straw and hay. Not as citrusy as Orlick Golden Sliced. Very bready. And very smooth, a very cool smoke. I think I'm going to be enjoying this one slowly, as this is the only tin I have. And if I see one come on the market, I certainly would, if the price is right, picking it up. They say that the moment of man takes to a pipe, he becomes a philosopher. It's the poor man's friend. It calms the mind, soothes the temper, and makes a man patient under troubles. It has made more good men, good husbands, kind masters, indulgent fathers, and honest fellows than any other blessed thing on this universal world. Thomas Chandler Halliburton, The Clockmaker, 1836. All right, my friends, now I would like to share with you one of my favorite poems by Mr. Malcolm Geet. It's called Smoke Rings from My Pipe. It goes a little something like this. All the long day's weariness is done. I'm free at last to do just as I will. Take out my pipe, admire the setting sun. Practice the art of simply sitting still. Thank God I have this briar bowl to fill. I leave the world with all its hopeless hype, its pressures, and its ever-ringing till, and let it go in smoke rings from my pipe. The hustle and the bustle, these I shun, the task that trouble and the cares that kill, the false idea that there's a race to run, the pushing of that weary stone uphill, the wretched iPhone's all-insistent trill, wingers and whiners, each with their own gripe. I pack them in tobacco leaves until they're blown away in smoke rings from my pipe. And then at last my real work is begun, my chance to chant, to exercise the skill of summoning the muses one by one, to meet me in their temple, touch my quill. I have a pen, but quills are better still. And when the soul is full, the time is ripe, kindle the fire of poetry that will breathe and expand like smoke rings from my pipe. Prince, I have done with the grinding at the mill. These petty pelting tyrants aren't my type. So lift me up and set me on a hill, a free man blowing smoke rings from his pipe. I'm going to leave you with one more poem to all you smokers and jokers. Some great pipe men and others. I owe to smoking more or less through life the whole of my success. With trusty pipe, I'm sage and wise. Without, I'm dull as cloudy skies. When smoking, all my ideas soar. When not, they sink upon the floor. The greatest men have all been smokers, and so were all the greatest jokers. Saludos amigos. We'll see you next time. Tejano Piper signing off.